Okay, we've never seen pictures like this before from NASA. Amazing video of what looks like tornadoes on the sun.
Signs in the heavens and the earth.
And what we're seeing is that these events continue one after another.
There's been a lot of buzz over the last few weeks about strange sounds being heard in the atmosphere. People around the world and here at home have reported hearing some bizarre noises.
Some strange noises heard around the world the last few weeks, from Arizona to England and right next door in Manitoba, all showing folks alarmed by what sounds like a noise straight out of a science fiction flick.
Like watching a scary movie. The background noise gives you the feeling that something terrible is about to happen.
Strange, mild sound. Seems like it's coming from the sky anyway.
I've heard that Jesus is coming back. I've heard that it's 2012, the world is ending.
This phenomenon stretched beyond North Battleford. Similar experiences were reported in Saskatoon, northern Saskatchewan, and parts of the U.S., even in Europe.
Sonidos muy similares a estos.
I've never seen this before. Are you doing video?
I have never seen this before, and I'm doing video. That's
correct. Can we please send it to James Spain and the Weather Channel?
That we are in the birth bank. Something is going on. We are in unprecedented, uncharted waters.
بالمجرى ومصدرها وتحديد نوعيتها، وبيبين صادر لاحقا عن الوزير المصدر مجرور مقفل ويرجح أن يكون
A terrible mystery gripping the world right now. Birds, fish, and all kinds of creatures just dropping dead.
For the second year on New Year's Eve, birds are falling from the sky in Beebe.
A mystery in Beebe, Arkansas. Birds falling dead from the sky on New Year's Eve for the second year in a row. Wildlife officials say
no one knows how these dolphins died, but hundreds have been found on beaches in Chiclayo, Peru. At least 260 dolphins washed ashore across a roughly 60-mile stretch of beach. Officials aren't sure what happened to them. An event like this is particularly unusual because dolphins aren't normally found in these seas.
Everywhere you look, you see the carcass of a dead turtle. Small turtles, large turtles, dozens of them, dead and scattered along the banks of Smith Lake.
The birds just started falling from the sky.
This is really weird. Hundreds of birds literally just dropped from the sky and then landed on I-95, bringing traffic there to a crawl.
But earlier today, a lot of confusion and concern when birds which were flying in the sky started to crash to the pavement.
There were hundreds of them.
Never ever in my life have I seen anything like this. Crazy. Totally crazy.
Never seen it. I travel this all the time.
But I haven't heard of anything locally like that, ever.
Birds, fish, and all kinds of creatures just dropping dead.
Couldn't figure out what the heck happened. Never seen anything like it.
Something strange has happened in the skies above Britain. Police throughout Scotland and the north of England received calls of a bright light streaking across the sky on Saturday night.
These images over Harrogate, but there have been sightings across the country from Scotland, Wales, the north, right down to the East Midlands.
It was what observers are calling one of the best meteors ever seen in the UK. The object was seen as far south as Devon and may have landed in the English Channel.
Dozens of viewers have said they've seen a massive bright light in the sky in the last few hours, with most claiming it was a meteor.
You'll be hearing a lot about this next item over the next 11 months, but astronomers have identified a new asteroid about 150 feet across, which is headed our way and may come so close to Earth that it will pass between us and the satellites orbiting in space above us. There's some debate in the scientific community about whether a direct hit is even possible. This is called 2012 DA14. They say this will be the closest pass of an asteroid in the history of tracking such things. And again, while this pass is supposed to miss us, the experts all say there's nothing wrong with making sure your affairs are in order.
So should we be nervous about this whole thing?
This is a serious story because the latest round of solar flares captured in this incredible video. Take a look at this. It's from NASA overnight. The burst that you're seeing there, charged particles erupting off the surface of the sun. And we saw an even bigger solar flare Tuesday night. Right now, all of those particles are racing toward the Earth, as you said, about 4 million miles per hour. And it's growing as it gets closer to us. On top of that, the problems will arise when the flares reach the Earth's magnetic field, apparently. That's when we could see mass power.
It's like a cloud of birds, but a giant cloud.
It's really creepy. It's kind of like, is the world coming to an end here or something? I mean, it's scary.
The whole sky will fill up with black birds. But it's crazy. It's scary, ain't it?
How many do you think?
Like a million. It's like we're being held hostage.
Held hostage in maybe a 3-mile radius by blackbirds.
When it comes down, it sounds like rain coming down. I mean, literally, from inside of our apartment, you think that it's raining outside.
What a sight this is. Thousands of dolphins swarm a whale-watching boat off the coast of Orange County.
You're looking at hundreds upon hundreds of dolphins breaching out of the water. The unusual spectacle was caught on tape.
We're trying to figure out what caused that flash in the sky in the Northwest Valley. It happened this morning, right here. If you haven't seen it, here we go. During Andrea's traffic report, look, we're going to slow it down for you right there. Look in the background. Looks like some kind of very bright light, almost like it was an explosion or something. Our first thought was maybe a transformer. But we checked with APS and SRP. They said they haven't had any trouble. We haven't had any reports of any explosions either. Here it is one more time for you in slow-mo. So it is still a mystery.
Here it comes. Okay, release easily.
Take it away from us, Lord. Take it, Lord. Take it, Lord. Take it away from us, Jesus. Father God, all power is in your Son's name. Take this stuff away from our home.
killer storms.
And those storms are not over just yet. Cities torn apart after taking a direct hit from rare winter tornadoes. They're now bracing for more of the same.
Among the places hardest hit, Harrisburg, Illinois. 175-mile-an-hour winds, 2 football fields wide, left people dead. Homes were shredded, a strip mall flattened, entire buildings knocked off their foundations.
It's just unreal. It's like a war zone.
A somber Saturday morning as hundreds of thousands wake up to sheer devastation. His entire town's all gone, flattened in a flash. This massive storm spawned more tornadoes in one day than we usually see in an entire month.
Here's what we know right now. At least 29 people dead. The second round of killer tornadoes just this week.
95 tornadoes ripped through yesterday. If those are all confirmed reports, this would be the greatest tornado day, one-day event in March for all history.
From a series of powerful earthquakes sending shockwaves through Japan.
That is the same area that was struck last year. There was a small tsunami in that area, and about 3 hours after that, another major earthquake.
But we will see continent-shattering earthquakes. We're seeing now too many anomalies, especially on the New Madrid. The rest of the world is coming apart at the seams.
Clintonville, Wisconsin residents say their homes rattled after explosion-like noises woke them up last night. And city leaders are still trying to figure out just what caused it all.
Florida lawmakers have set the stage for a specific type of low-dose medical marijuana to become legal. NBC2's Andrea Hubble is live in the studio tonight. And Andrea, advocates are telling you this could ultimately change lives.
That's right, Joe. When legislators passed this bill, some parents let out a big sigh of relief, especially parents who haven't done anything to help their children who suffer from seizures every day.
It's going to help a lot of children.
Susan Noble is surprised but glad Florida has passed. Explains the back blow could be steep.
So there'll be a sorting out of
what does the legislation say, and what will the Constitution do?
The hot button bill now heads to Governor Rick Scott's desk. He's pledged to sign it as Florida residents ready to vote on another bill that would make smokable medicinal marijuana more accepted. Bergerson says there are still people who view the drug.
Who see it as a gateway to larger use of marijuana and a gateway drug to hardcore drugs.
Stood out to me probably as most significant due to my interest, as you know, in transhumanism. And is there anything prophetic about where we're at in the genetics revolution today? Is it actually a repeat of what Enoch and Jasher and Jubilees, the story that they record, which are all three of those books, by the way, are included in Volume 1. The story that they tell from different points of view, different perspectives. So Enoch focuses on one aspect of the story. Jubilees tells us more about the angels themselves, but includes information about their interest in genetics, how they wanted to transform basically the composite makeup of the Adam man, the Aman man, the man of red clay. And then Jasher, when I was doing research into this field, Jasher records a verse that Gary, I think, is probably the most ancient reference to a high-level form of biotechnology. How did they take genetics from women and animals and merge it and create this body? And what Jasher says in Jasher 4:18 is after the angels had revealed the secrets of heaven to man. These are secrets of creation. After they did that, Jasher says, then men begin to blend animals, one species with another species, and this provoked the Lord. And Jasher unequivocally states that that is what led to the great judgment of the flood and the need to eliminate from earth the contamination of flesh. But if you were to take that verse and give it to a modern scientist or a geneticist and say, what is being described here, they would say it's transgenics.
Absolutely.
The taking of the genetics of one species, blending it with the genetics of another species, is something we're doing in laboratories all around the world today.
And that's a fulfillment of Bible prophecy. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. Hybridization of seeds, of animals, of fish, genetic mutations of all kinds. Tom, you know as well as I do, you've written about the subject. You're an expert in the field of transgenics. It's going on with increasing force, to the point that some people are saying it's going to be impossible one day to tell what's a hybrid and what's not.
Well, actually, experts are already saying that we have already entered into what they're calling the hybrid age. Now, what they mean by that is we had the post-industrial age, we had the industrial age. These are moments in time, periods in time where a technology advances to a point that it becomes practical, it becomes applicable. Then we had, by the way, the information age, which gave birth to the internet. And now anybody watching this show, go to Google, type in the hybrid age, and look at the peer-reviewed articles that are being published right now.
Peer-reviewed.
Peer-reviewed. This is not weekly world news. And as a matter of fact, last week, the Academy of Medical Sciences out of Britain, they work with the oldest academic scientific body in the world, 350 years old. And they published a white paper just last week talking about the dangers of human enhancement. But if you read the article, they're not saying we should avoid this. What they're saying is it's here, it's already started, there's no stopping it, and the danger is going to be trying to build some kind of control grid around it. Otherwise, here's what they say in their report, otherwise there is going to be a super form of human race that is going to dominate the naturals. And the naturals are going to become a slave race. So, but this is coming to us.
Of course, God's not going to allow that to happen.
Well, God's not going to allow it to happen, but look at it as a sign of the times, because this is exactly what happened in the days of Noah.
Amen.
We will create a superior race of man that will make a slave race out of the others. And God said,
and
we're done.
Like one of them is the mechanical mismatch between humans and electronics, right? So electronics are boxy and rigid, humans are curvy and soft. That's a mechanical mismatch problem. Well, A researcher at the University of Illinois, his name is Dr. Rogers, what he discovered is that he could use standard CMOS techniques to make islands of high-performance silicon connected by accordion-like structures that would allow it to stretch up to 200% and still be performing. And what he did is he founded a company, and they started making electronic tattoos. So I'm wearing one here on my arm.
Do we have
here.
a camera to get a...
This is a developmental system made by MC10, and it has an antenna and some sensors embedded in it. And what we plan to do is work with them to advance a tattoo that could be used for authentication. Now, it may be true that 10 to 20-year-olds don't want to wear a watch on their wrist, but you can be sure that they'll be far more interested in wearing an electronic tattoo, if only to piss off their parents. Right?
And that can have a design, right? Because
Sure.
they would certainly want some kind of cool design.
Options,
right?
options. And that's something that you wear, but you could also imagine including authentication in just your daily habits. So I take a vitamin every morning. What if I could take vitamin authentication?
What?
Vitamin authentication. Look, I have one right here. Well, here, I'll let you hold it. Would you like to hold it?
I'll hold it.
Okay. So this
You guys see it?
This pill has a small chip inside of it with a switch. It also has what amounts to an inside-out potato battery. When
Really
you
small.
swallow it, the acids in your stomach serve as the electrolyte,
That's what I do.
and they power it up, and the switch goes on and off. And it creates an 18-bit ECG-like signal in your body, and essentially your entire body becomes your authentication token. Yes, this is true. Okay?
Okay, but
Okay, so wait. So it's really true. So what this means is that becomes my first superpower. I really want this superpower. It means that my arms are like wires, my hands are like alligator clips. When I touch my phone, my computer, my door, my car, I'm authenticated in. First superpower. Like, I want that.
So we're not shipping that right away.
Yeah, no. We're not shipping that right away. But it
But
sounds like...
this is FDA cleared?
So here's the thing. This is not science fiction. This pill was actually made by a company called Proteus, and they've developed it for medical applications. That pill has been CE stamped and cleared by the FDA. You can take 30 of those per day for the rest of your life.
And then what happens? Does your heart beat change? Does your...
We can just tell that
Do you-
you've taken the pill. A tattoo that could be used for authentication. A tattoo that could be used for authentication. A tattoo that